Hello everyone. Today we have Dr. Govind Babu with us. Dr. Govind Babu is a medical oncologist with SCG Enterprises Limited. Dr. Govind Babu is also president for the South Federation of Oncology. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, we have different specialties in oncology.
Right.
So the question which arises in people's mind about medical oncology. What is medical oncology in general?
Right. I think it's a pertinent question today because medical oncology as a specialty is pretty new. In fact, I'm one of the first batches of medical oncologists trained in this country. Compared to surgical oncology and radiotherapy, this is only about 4 or 5 decades old, whereas the other two specialties have been there for a very long time. This is also because there is need for medical oncology because a lot of newer advances have happened and it's very difficult for just one oncologist who is to manage earlier, especially surgical oncology or radiation oncology, to manage all these aspects of oncology. And therefore, this specialty of medical oncology is started. Essentially, a medical oncologist needs to have a basic internal medicine or pediatric medicine background, and then that is followed by training in medical oncology specifically for over 3 years. And just that is not enough, we need to continue to read every day, and that is because medical oncology is so fast changing. Every 24 hours there's something new. So medical oncology essentially takes care of systemic therapies of diseases, of cancer especially, and by this I mean, as compared to radiation oncology or surgical oncology, which takes care of local disease. For example, breast cancer, the tumor is taken out by a surgeon or a surgical oncologist, and that is local therapy. And after that, the radiation oncologists give radiation to the local area to control the local recurrences that happen. But we know most of these diseases come back in other parts of the body, and that is what we call a systemic disease. And this part of treatment is taken care of by medical oncology. So that is in brief to tell you what medical oncologist does.
So what are the advancements today we are seeing in space of treatment, diagnosis? If in particular we talk about medical oncology in cancer care.
Right. So medical oncology for a long time had just chemotherapy drugs. So that had its own limitations. Soon we understood that just chemotherapy is not adequate. We understood how these cancer cells progress, become resistant to the therapies that we have. So we understood the molecular pathways, and because of the advances in molecular techniques, we've now been able to get a lot of this information at the molecular level in the cancer cell, and therefore we have come out with groups of drugs which are called targeted therapies, biologics and immunotherapy. So these are the different groups of agents that we use today as compared to several decades ago where we had just a couple of chemotherapy agents. And each one of these has its advantages to offer to our patients.
So yeah, the precision oncology primarily has played a larger role.
Absolutely. So because of these advances in molecular technology, we know that each cancer has a specific pathway that it follows. So to give you a specific example is EGFR pathway in non-small cell lung cancer. We know that this is a driver pathway, and we have drugs that specifically target this. And this is, as compared to chemotherapy, just an oral tablet, and one tablet a day can keep these patients going on for several years. And we have patients who've been on just one tablet who finished over 5 years in a stage 4 non-small cell lung cancer, which is unheard of in 2 to 3 decades ago, where the median survival of a stage 4 lung cancer was about 8 to 10 months. So this is how advances in molecular biology has helped us to help these patients.
So, how does a patient, usually what would be your advice on follow-ups for the treatment?
Okay. So for follow-ups, let me give you an example, say of breast cancer. Again in breast cancer, because of these molecular biology techniques, all breast cancers are not one. We now classify them as being ER/PR positive, HER2 positive, triple negative, and many other subtypes. So each one of these has specific follow-ups that we advise, specific therapies that we give. Earlier, we used to think that HER2 positive breast cancer is a poor disease, but some years ago we realized that this pathway could be targeted, and one of the first agents that came in to target this pathway is a drug called trastuzumab. And this actually has converted this poor prognostic factor to a good prognostic factor. And many of these patients today, if we find that they are HER2 positive, we are in a way happy because we can offer them good treatment, and these people survive for very, very long periods of time. So for these people, the follow-up typically is for 1 to 2 times every 3 months for the first 2 to 3 years, and then maybe 6 months, and then we take it for about 5 to 6 years. So the advantage is that if there is a disease that comes up or a recurrence that happens, we can pick up early, and catching any disease that comes back early is of importance, because then that is potentially curable even though it's come back after treatment. So that's the importance of follow-up.
So in this age of technology, where do you see artificial intelligence contributing in medical oncology?
Yeah, the human mind has a limited capacity. So everything can't be done by us, and some things can be taken over by artificial intelligence. And when we talk about artificial intelligence, people are scared actually. They think that these machines are going to replace the human being. But we must understand that they are there because it is what we feed to them that they use. And of course they build on it, but they can never replace the human intelligence as on date. That's what I feel. We need to use them so that we can get better out of what techniques we have, and it's not that they're going to replace us. So that's very important. In fact, we're using artificial intelligence today in pathology, radiology, and even decision making, where because of molecular biology techniques, we may find several pathways that are active in a particular tumor, and for us to actually assimilate all this and draw conclusions many times can be difficult. So we do use artificial intelligence to help us to tone down all this and help us to have specific therapies for this patient. So that's where artificial intelligence is.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much. I'm very sure that the listeners who are listening to us will definitely get benefited with this information. If you have any further questions, comments or suggestions, don't forget to type your suggestions in the comment box below. Thank you so much.